Yes. Welcome back, guys, to Woodsman's Knife Channel. Now, today we are gonna have a closer look at the Condor K-Tac cookery, and we are gonna go out in the field and test it hard, see what this knife is capable of. But the designer of this knife here is a guy called Alan K. And for some years back, Alan K was at the show called Alone. If you don't remember how Alan looks like, he looks like this. And Alan won that show. And this is a show where they are gonna drop some people off out in the wilderness, and they have to survive out of the nature. And really great program. I love that program. Much better than all of that reality crap shit you are gonna see all over the television. Now this show here was actually something that you could learn a lot from, and I love stuff like that when people are getting out in the nature. And Alan here is just a cookery fan, and he also carry a cookery out there. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite programs out there for sure. But yeah, this was one of his designs. Absolutely beautiful cookery, and I'll show you all the specs up here. Now, this actually comes in two different versions. I got the one called Tan or Desert Tan, I don't really remember, but mine got that sand colored micarta handle, and this Desert Tan cookery K-Tac sheath. But you can also get this in another color with a green micarta scales and a green K-Tac sheath. I'll show you a picture of them here. So yeah, this was one of the knives that he came up with, and one of the things that I really like about this knife here is that most cookeries are really heavy. They are weighing between 700 and 1,000 grams, and that is a lot of steel to work with out in the field. Where this one here is like 496, I believe, grams. So this definitely is much more easy to work with. And 2 seconds, guys. Now, as you can see here, normally a real good cookery like this, it got this tapered spine up here, so it's very thick here all the way up, where this is a lot thinner. But this thickness here really gives the good cookery some momentum when you are working with it. But the way that they kind of corrected that on this knife here is that, as you can see here, it's very slim down here at the bottom of the blade, and very wide up here. So that is the way that they kind of corrected that issue there, and they saved a lot of weight by doing that. And trust me, this really has some momentum when working with it. You can see I have been using this knife here many times out in the field, and I love working with this knife here. It's just a beast. And this here is an 11-inch blade, and that is a very standard size for good cookery. And I believe this one here is like a 9.5, 10-inch blade. And this is the perfect size for me. I love the knife. The knife that I use the most are not over 10 inch in blade. They are just getting too. It's just getting too much for me out in the field. But this size here is just perfect. And one of the things that Condor are really great at is their K-Tac sheaths. They always come with some high quality sheaths, and I really like that. And this one here has a dangler up here, which I really appreciate a lot. I think that it's a pleasure to work with because the knife can just follow your body when you are going up and down and up and down, and that is something that I find very nice. But you can also just use the belt loop in here if you don't want to use the belt loop. And you can change. You can just take it off here and put it on the other side if you are a left side carry guy, so or left-handed. So yeah, this was a little bit talk of the K-Tac from Condor, but enough talk, guys. Let's go out and see what this knife is capable of. Let's go! Now, let's see what the Condor K-Tac is capable of. And before we are gonna get started here, guys, we are just gonna sharpen up the edge a little bit. Something that you should be aware of when you are buying this knife here. At least mine came very dull. It wasn't sharp at all, and I don't know if that is because that it is a kukri and it is designed for chopping. So of course they are not gonna put on a hair popping sharp edge on this kind of knife here, but it was very dull to the point that it was absolutely useless. What I always do when I'm out using my kukri knives, I always use this rada sharpening tool here. And this is an absolute must-have if you are a kukri fan and you are using your knives out in the field, because this gives the knife a very good and strong edge. It doesn't give it that hair popping edge, but that is not what I don't need that kind of edge for this knife here when I'm using it out in the field. So let's just start out and sharpening this edge here, guys, and we are just gonna do some smaller task, and we are gonna work ourselves up. And I'm a little bit curious. I want to see how tough this steel here are on the K-Tac, the 1075 carbon steel, I believe it was. So we are gonna try to see if we can cut through a nail. So hang on, guys. This is gonna get awesome. Okay, now let's just give it 10 strokes on this. That should be enough. Yeah, I think that is enough, guys. So let's see how it performs. I'm chopping some water hose here. Oh, this is also very frozen. But it should be able to get through that much easier. So let's just try and give it a little bit more of this. And you can see here, if I can focus, it gives it a nice edge. Oh, let's see if that should help a little bit. But this is also very frozen. Now, I'm just gonna need my baton stick over here. So, look at that. That just went through the stump here like butter. Now, of course, a knife like this is not meant to do these finer tasks here. It is a knife that is built for chopping. But it definitely can do some other nice feather curls there, feather sticks. Let's try. Now I just used the edge up here. Let's try to use the bevel, and this is just it really, that rather sharpening tool there, look at that, much more fine. That sharpening tool there is just a must-have for a cookie like this, because it is hard to sharpening a blade like this on a machine because of that recurve there. So I prefer to use the rada. Now let's see if we can get through this in one blow, guys. Easy peasy. Yeah, and that is just one of the things that I just love about cookies. They are just built to work with out in the field. Yeah. Now, let's see where the balance point is. Of course, it is a blade heavy. A cookie needs to be blade heavy. So it's a little bit difficult because it would really like to turn and I don't want to cut my finger. but it is around there. And it just goes down like an arrow. And the one thing one of the things that I would always recommend you guys, if you want a strong knife to work with out in the field, always go with a full tang knife. Always full tang. It is the most strongest knife you can find out there. Yeah, let's see if we can cut down 3. Okay, now I'm just gonna use a 3 that I already have cut down, so don't want to destroy any more trees for this. So, and this is something I like with this big knife, that you got this kind of lanyards hole here, because that just makes the knife so much more secure in the hand. So let's try and see, guys. Oh, this is really going all over the place. But look at that. Look at all that wood. It's just like a chainsaw. Look at how quick that went, guys. That is what this knife here is built for. To chop, to cut down a tree, to build a shelter. Now, in my opinion, these cookery knives here are some of the best survival knives that you can possibly get. But that is just my opinion. I love them, and I just find them so cool looking. But I know there are a lot of different opinions about that. There are a lot of people who hate them. I'm not one of them. Now, something that this knife here ain't built for is for stabbing. So let's see if we can go through a car tire with this here.
This is the inner symphony of greatness, the epic soundtrack of success. You don't need to see with your eyes to achieve greatness. You only need to hear and follow her voice. And that voice is crying out from the weight room, the track, the practice court, the field. And it is waiting on you. You have to learn how to keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding, even when you don't see any results. Just because you don't see any immediate gains doesn't mean you ain't making progress. So you gotta learn how to go beyond the limits of your feelings, going beyond what your eyes don't see, and go all in to pursue what could be. Stop scoreboard watching and trust in the process, the principles, and the habits that actually put points on that scoreboard. I was born a champion. It's you versus you. So you gotta find a why that makes you invincible.
Okay. Now let's see if this knife here can go through a car tire. This is just an ordinary car tire. There are no reinforcing or anything on the side, so it's very soft, but it's also very frozen out here on the ground, as you can see, guys. But let's see if we can get through this. Yeah, we actually did. I didn't expect that. Gonna try to do it over here. Look at that. Holy moly. It really, that was actually much easier than I expected it to be. Okay. I really didn't expect it to do that so easy, but it did. That's actually really cool because this knife here, now, as you can see the tip over here, it came like that. This is not because that I broke the knife, but it came, as you can see there, it kind of missing the tip, but you can easily put a tip on it if you wanted to, but you really doesn't need to. Look at how thick it is. Beautiful. Okay guys, let's try a new test. Okay, now we came to the bok test. And again, all the birds are just gone. It's every single time. But let's see what this knife here can do to some chicken over there. But again, one of the things that I love most about these kukri designs here are that all the history that are behind these knives here. If you don't know anything about the Gurkha warriors from Nepal, you should definitely try to Google it and read a little bit about it. It's really interesting, and this is the kind of design that they prefer the most. They use these knives here for kitchen knives and for preparing food, of course, and they also take these designs here to war. And they are feared all over the world, these kukri knives here, especially when they are in the hands of a real Gurkha warrior. So let's see if there is something to it. So look at that. This really got in deep and I barely touched it. This is about an inch deep, and you can see I'm only using my wrist here, and it's just going through it. I don't even have to put any kinds of pressure on it. Look at that. We just open up the chest, and you can see that I'm really not giving it all that I got. But let's see if it can stab. And it actually got through it very easily. I'm really surprised over how good this knife here can stab. So if you are gonna get attacked by a bear and a Sasquatch or something like that, this could definitely help you out a lot. Now let's see if we can cut down a leg or cut a leg off. Easy. One smooth blow and we are just through it. Look at that. Whoop. Okay. Let's see if we can get through the chicken here. Look at that. This, I can just feel why the Gurkha warriors is loving to take these to war. Holy moly, if you are gonna get struck by a kukri knife, it's just game over. Yeah. Now, on to the next test. Okay, now let's see. A lot of us know that sometimes when we get these, what do you call them? Metal boxes, or I don't know the English word for it, guys, sorry. But these metal boxes here, when there are some kinds of food inside, and sometimes the idiots don't put anything on it to open it with. And the only thing you have with you out in the field is your knife. So let's see if we can open this. Now, of course, it is never a good idea to go through metal with a knife, but let's try to see if we can get through it. And we are gonna try out first with this hammer end up here and just see what will happen. That thing, we are gonna have to open it a little bit with the knife here. So let's try that out, guys. Just gonna use my tongue stick here. Yeah. Okay, you can easy open this with this if you wanted to. Just gonna pour all that water out, and then we are just gonna try again. Like that. Yeah. And let's see if the edge didn't take any kind of damage at all for that. But let's try and see if we can cut this one here over in one blow. Didn't really hit it correctly, but as you can see, it just sliced it open from the side there. Oh. It really got away. Now, let's try to step it up a notch, guys. Just gonna take on my glasses here because I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna want any kind of metal in my eyes. Look at that. Now let's see what that did to the edge. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Now, let's really try to step it up a notch and see how strong this steel here really are. So let's try to see if we can cut this nail over. You can definitely see very well. Okay. And I got my glasses on here. Now this is a stupid test to do, but I just want to see how strong the heat treatment are from Condor and how tough this steel here are. So let's see if we can go through. Look at that. We cut it over. Wow. Look at that. If I can get it to focus. It got nothing. Maybe a little bit right there, but that I can give it 10 strokes more with the radar sharpening tool, and that is just gone. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. And we just cut it over. Really good job from Condor. Yeah. Okay guys, that was the Condor K-Tac kukri knife designed by Alan Kay. And as I told you in the beginning of the video, I have been using this knife here many times out in the field, and I really know the pros and the cons of this knife here. And one of the things that's really I don't know if it has been irritating, but one thing that you should be aware of when you are buying this knife here, it got this beautiful and very good material of micarta, but this knife here, it will really, you can see, and I have a tight grip here guys, but it is turning in my hand very easily, and that is something that you can easily fix this, because micarta is a material that is very easy to work with, and you can just make some finger grooves or something in there if you wanted to, and then you have fixed that problem. And the next thing is that you should be aware. Now I don't know if this was a one-time knife that just came dull, or they are just, maybe all of them are just coming out dull. I don't know. But if you're buying this knife here, you should expect it to be dull. I can't tell you anything else, because mine came very dull. But a radar sharpening tool, and you are good to go, guys. Now, when all that is said and done, this is just a phenomenal kukri knife, and it was, I believe it was under 500 grams. It's very light for kukri, and it's just a joy to work with. And you got this. It's very thin blade here. It's not very wide, and it is really nice to work with, to do some feather curls or to do some finer task. And then you got this big bevel up here for cutting down a tree, and as you saw, I just cut through that tree there like nothing. And that is what these knives here are very good at. They are excellent chopping knives. And one of the things that I have talked a little bit about it a little earlier in the video, all the history of the Gurkha warriors is just something that I find so inspiring, and I find it like an honor to be having a kukri with me out in the field. And normally I take this is definitely a good working tool. It is, but for me, I always take my gurke cookeries with me out in the field, because of all of the history that is behind these knives, and they are just handmade, and you can just see that they are handmade, and that really gives them some what can you call it, some personality about the knives that is coming out from Nepal, that is not made on a CNC machine and stuff like that. And but that is just me, guys. I love that. And that you can see that someone has spent hours and hours and hours to build you your knife. That is something that I really like. But it also takes normally some time to get something out of Nepal, because they are gonna hand build them. But this is just a thing that you can order this knife here almost anywhere, and you can get it in 2 days, and it is on your address. So, but again, I would highly recommend you buying this knife here. It's just a well built and very strong knife. And it got that more tactical look. If you don't want that old school gurke cookery handmade knife from Nepal, now this would definitely be a good option. And again, it is, the Condor is just building some world-class K-Tac sheath. I really enjoy the sheath, and they are just very beautiful. Very good build. So yeah, that was a little bit of the Condor K-Tac. Now I just forgot something. I'm a little bit curious, because I like when a knife have that 90 degrees bind, so you can use it for some fire steel. So let's see if this knife here can do that. It definitely can. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Now, I am Woodsman. See you in Valhalla. Bye bye.